Welcome back to Lost Legacies.
A Hidden City Book Company production.
I'm Sam.
I'm Matt.
Well, everybody, welcome back. Welcome to another exciting episode of the show. We got a lot to get into, but before we get into it, Matt, what's new? Do you have anything new for us today?
No, I don't think so. Um, Especially now that we're for Halloween season we're doing like 2 a week.
Mm-hmm.
No, but even then, even if we're just doing one a week, it's still like I feel like there's not a lot of like movie news or anything happening.
Yeah.
I can say I finally finished my Star Trek: The Next Generation watch.
Ooh.
My first time watching it like as an adult, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because I remember watching the last episode like as a kid, and then probably a few other times growing up. But like, man, all 7 seasons down. It took me a couple years because I really took my time.
Yeah.
Uh, I think I started in 2020. I think it was during the pandemic.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So about as old as this podcast. We should have done a Star
Wow.
Trek podcast.
We should have done a Star Trek
Hmm.
pod. Well, we said like that was on the list, wasn't it? Or no, it
Was it?
wasn't on the list.
I
No,
don't know.
no, because you were already listening to like two different people reacting to next
Yeah.
gen,
Yeah.
or at
I,
least Star Trek as a
I
whole,
think
and you're like, no,
what were they called? Becca Scott and her company, like they had a next gen podcast during pandemic, and then they kind of just stopped like halfway through because I guess they started filming and getting back to work, you know.
yeah, yeah,
So that's a bummer that they never finished it, but
that sucks.
yeah. Um yeah. So it was good. It was nice. It was I it was kind of emotional, you know. I'm like, wow, because it's kind of like the we've talked about this before, how like I'll go up until like the last episode of a show and never
Mm-hmm.
watch the last episode because like I
Mm-hmm.
never want it to end, you know. Even though I've seen the next gen movies and I've seen Star Trek Picard, it's like I don't know, it's still something about not finishing it. Like no, like it's like your heroes are still out there,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and especially right now, that's something I want to feel, you know. But I sucked
yeah.
it up and I watched it and it was great. I loved it. So.
Hey, even Q says it. It's somewhere in that finale. All good things must come to an end, Matt.
This is true.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know what else is going on. The Amazon is editing the guns out of the Bond
Oh,
posters,
jeez.
which I
Yeah.
think is hilarious.
So,
Um,
yeah, so down.
yeah, Xbox is alienating its customers by like raising the Game Pass price by like 50% and like everyone's just like done with it. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I would be too. Here's an interesting thing. I was trying to get a couple of sessions in on Fortnite on Saturday morning.
mhm.
Cat had therapy, so I was like, oh, put on my headphones, play a couple rounds of Fortnite. Uh, as I was as I was getting on, my TV hit me with like this like new user update or something like that, like terms of service update, where essentially they were saying that like unless I click off on these options, uh, it will it will track whatever it is that I watch on like the platform I'm trying to connect to, which is my PlayStation.
Mhm.
It'll track whatever I watch and then send that information to like third party companies.
Mhm.
And I'm like, why? Why
Mhm.
do you want that?
Money.
I'm just playing Fortnite, man. Like, come on. Like this is
It's all money, man.
yeah. Well, it's stupid. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Remember when you could just get a TV and the TV was solely there just for TV?
Yeah.
You know? And then we could like insert stuff so that we could play our video games. Remember video games didn't require the internet to access?
Yeah. That was
Like,
nice.
yeah.
It's becoming more and more rare, like the physical copy for the games. Like,
Yeah, for everything.
yeah, for everything. So I really
Yeah.
wish I had like a physical copy of Baldur's Gate 3, you know, because that's like one of those games where like, man, this is gonna stand the test of time. Like,
Hmm.
I think I still have my Mass Effect trilogy, I think. I don't even know.
I think so, yeah.
I can't even play them on the
Yeah,
PS5.
yeah.
So, but yeah, it's I don't know. Like I think as time goes on, we're gonna start moving back to physical media,
That
you know?
yeah, that's what I think too, especially like once like vinyl stuck around,
Yeah.
because like it had been gone for a long time, and then like it slowly started becoming things like, oh, this is a little more niche. Like, oh, this is
Mhm.
now it's like almost every band, like they have a new album, they have a vinyl that's also out too,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
like this is a thing that I think we're gonna get back to at some point. I don't know if we're gonna go back to like VHS, but I definitely do think we're gonna start doing like Blu-rays again or something like
It's
that.
kind
You
of
know, it's
like
gonna be like a
it's
disc
gonna be the
format.
last of whatever form it was before how do I say it's gonna go back to its last physical like incarnation,
Mm,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
So, well, that's not necessarily
Well,
true
yeah,
because
I don't
I
think
kind of
so.
feel like vinyl right now is more popular than CDs.
Yeah, yeah.
That's interesting. Because
Well,
CDs were essentially replaced and CD players were replaced by like the iPod,
yeah.
you know? So I don't know. I don't know what it was about vinyl, but that's kind of what and
Well, well, I think with vinyl also has the component of like um of also kind of like doubling as like an art piece. Like you can just have
that's
a
true.
vinyl like on your wall. You know, you can't
Yeah.
really do that with cassettes unless you have like a wall of cassettes,
hmm
you know.
And same thing with
But
CDs. It's like I guess you can display the cases, but they're so small. And
yeah, so
we're
there's
seeing
something
a
about
lot
like
of
the
that.
size, you know?
Yeah, we're seeing a
Yeah.
lot of that. People who are they're buying the vinyl for the art piece. Same thing like coffee table books.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's a big fandom. I don't know if that's what you want to call them. Community. There's a big community of
Community.
people
Yeah.
who they really love coffee table books, even if they don't read it. They show it off. I'm the
Yeah.
same way. If I'm gonna get a coffee table book, I'm probably not gonna read it. It's there for the pictures.
Yeah.
So
I'll look through it once, you know,
yeah,
and
I
then
kind of feel like that's gonna be the same way like AI goes.
mm.
Which, we talked about AI for quite a bit last week. I even I cut about half of that conversation just because it went so long. I'm like, this isn't fun, man.
Well, lucky for
like,
you, I'm still fired up. Get
yeah.
ready to cut more.
So, but it's like the further you push with, whatever. It's not even that it's like, oh, it's new technology. No, it's just like the more you push with anything that is new, especially when it takes out the physical factor of it,
Hmm.
people tend to go back to something physical. So like the harder you push digital, the more popular it becomes. Kind of by proxy, the more popular vinyl becomes,
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a tether, It's just kind of like pulling it along. I kind of feel like in a way, it's not really the best, comparison, but I feel like in a way that it's going to be that way with AI. There's just going to be so much slop out there that we're really going to start looking for the artists. And I'm
Hmm.
hoping it doesn't get like super bad. I hope it's like people catch on right away so we can avoid the future of just AI slop, you know?
Hmm.
So we prioritize the artists who are working now as opposed to like 100 years from now, we're like, oh man, look at this Artur. He's actually he's filming something with real people, Like I hope it never gets to that point,
Yeah.
but like I feel like the harder people push AI, the more people are at least a significant portion of the population is going to kind of be tethered back to actual real human art with
Yeah.
emotions and feelings, and chutzpah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like t two thoughts on this. I'm not going to try and go so far into the weeds on this time. Um, I was watching this YouTube video essay
hmm
over the weekend. Um, and that was the conversation. The conversation was about AI.
Hmm.
and like the logistics and like how does it work and what is it doing, all this stuff. And then the creator admitted that they used AI in their video, the
Hmm.
the video that we're watching right now. There was a shot that they were where they were outside, and they said just to like punch it up a little bit and to like get a better view of stuff. Well, they used AI to make it look
Hmm.
better. There was also like a little graphic that they tested out that they made, also AI. And I caught that too. I was like, that looks you definitely made that. I understand like for the context of the video, like I get it. Um, but then that was their whole argument. They're like, I'm a little biased because I don't necessarily see the downside of using AI.
Hmm.
However, I've talked to a lot of people and interviewed a lot of people. So like they really did their research. They really
Hmm.
they really went all in on it. And yeah, the basic takeaway was that like in in excess and um in like the just using it for like a nefarious purpose, just using it for like the quick cash and just the quickness of it
Hmm.
tends to lead to like bad actors, people using it just to make a quick buck, that
Hmm.
kind of a thing. Um, but it was kind of like what you were saying last week, where it was like that's true of most like modern technology. Somebody
Hmm.
else is going to come on, try and make something for cheaper, try and make something faster just to turn a quick profit.
Yeah.
Um, Also, they talked to an artist who trained AI on their own art so that they can
Mm.
then like use that. And
That's
I
what I'm
was like,
talking
oh,
about.
okay, yeah, because she was she's like a poet or something like
Yeah.
that, and she trained the AI to create images that are generated off of like her sketches and
Hmm.
then her words in the poems. And I'm like, oh, okay,
Hmm.
like interesting. And I know that we've talked about that, and it's like on that level, I can understand it.
Yeah.
Um, but on the level I don't is a video I saw not an hour ago scrolling through threads where they posted a video of like, oh, we're getting I don't know what it is. It's either like an anime or a Japanese video game, but it's
Hmm.
like, oh, we're getting a live action movie of this, and here's the secret on-set footage they don't want you to see. And I'm not gonna lie, it looked really good
Hmm.
to a point where I'm like, this looks real. Like
Hmm.
if I was in a different headspace, I would just assume that this was real.
Hmm.
And then of course, like somewhere in the background, there's a guy who's got three arms,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, no, so this is AI.
Yeah.
But it looks so convincing that I'm like, I don't understand the purpose of this other than clickbait and clout. And I guess, on certain platforms, the more clicks and likes and views you get paid
Yeah.
based off of that. So it's like, so that's it then.
Hmm.
We're just it's no better than snake oil,
Right.
and that's the kind of thing that still irks me
Yeah.
where it's just like, no, I'm still very staunchly against AI,
Hmm.
but yeah.
Because going back to that artist who trained the AI off her own art, um, that's very interesting, and it kind of brings up the idea to me anyway, because this is something I've been thinking about because we talked about the whatever that AI artist or actor. I already forgot her name.
Oh yeah.
But um, and the thinking is like, okay, you're gonna have this character who never tires, you never have to pay,
Mhm.
and and they can actually communicate with you, so like I can see the appeal outside of just money, because the first thing I thought about was like, okay, Batman, you know that's still iffy because you have decades of artists who worked on Batman. But if DC Comics were to make like a Batman AI, they trained it on all the history of Batman. Like I don't agree with it, but I definitely see the potential, And again, in my mind, as I've said often, how do we get to Star Trek? Where you are creating these worlds out of nowhere, and it's just like so I can see the goals, I can see the vision, but it you have to do it properly. And I think or artists like that one girl you mentioned who trained it off her own, and that's not the first artist we've heard do that, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's cool, that's interesting. Um, so yeah, you start getting into all these weird like gray areas, you know, and it's like what I'm interested to see. 'Cause I agree with you completely. One, I don't want it. Two, I don't actually know how long it's gonna last.
Mhm.
I think the issue right now is like it's so feasible, like it's so attainable. Like it's kind of like this gold rush of like anyone could use AI and do anything. And I think a lot of the big corporations are trying to play into that. Let's put AI into everyone's hands, you know?
Mhm.
So I think for sure for in some form AI is always going to be there, you know? But I think especially when it comes to art, I think it's kind of what you were saying last week. It's a fad. It's not going to last that long. It's going to eventually die out, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm curious to actually see and this is something I haven't seen anyone or anyone's art to change my mind on it, you
Yeah.
know? But I'm curious, like what happens when you actually get creative people trying to use it, you know, for whatever reason, you know?
Yeah.
Sure, it's always going to be, at least right now in its current incarnation, this ethically, you can't really defend yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's leaving such a footprint in our planet in real time. You know, there's no
Hmm.
debating that.
Yeah.
Uh, Now, if you say, okay, well, what if we fix that problem? Okay, cool. One thing down. Let's start moving down the list, you know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm really curious, you know, what happens when like real creative people, real artists start using it? You know, are we ever going to get to a point where AI is like Adobe, where
Mhm.
everyone, like there's not a graphic designer alive who doesn't use Adobe in some form,
Yeah.
you know? So I don't know. It's interesting. I think a lot of people are going to make a lot of money off of it, but I also think they're
Hmm.
going to lose a lot of money off of it because I just see like a giant crash at some point, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
I
but
mean,
yeah,
yeah,
so
just like Bitcoin, it's like that's like or not Bitcoin, I'm sorry. NFTs,
oh
it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
it's kind
that
of the
came and
same
went
thing to
so
me.
fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like, no, my apes.
Hmm.
Uh
Yeah.
your apes never existed, bro.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
how do we start talking about AI again?
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
You said you had to edit out a bunch because it wasn't fun.
Well,
Uh
no, I brought that up because
oh, because Amazon editing their bond posters.
is that what it was?
I think so.
Crap.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I totally lost the plot.
Yeah, I think we did too. Uh a- any chance, any opportunity to just brag on AI, I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah,
there's a
let's do
point.
it.
There's a point there that I was working to, and I completely forgot where this conversation started. Um,
I'm sorry.
so yeah,
Hmm.
in that case, I guess we'll move on. Crap, what
Maybe
was?
maybe you'll figure it out later
Yeah, maybe we'll
and then
figure
we'll
it
get
out
back to
as
it.
we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
So,
But until then, I guess we're talking about Andor
yeah,
season 2, episode 9. Welcome to the rebellion. Ooh, man, hot button issue. This one,
we finally made it.
we finally made
The
it.
rebellion has started.
The rebellion. We're here at last.
I know, 4 years in.
Bam, bam,
Oh man.
bam. Man, yeah. Oh, yeah. This is crazy. Well, right off the bat, I'm glad we got an answer to the Gorman senator, like what was gonna happen to him.
Sure.
It wasn't like what you were saying,
Right.
like he was gonna do something, but in a way, more true to life and also scarier
Hmm.
in that no, he didn't have to do anything. Just the fact that he was there,
Hmm.
is enough of a threat to the Empire.
Yeah. Solid episode though. It kind of feels like okay, things are wrapping up, but it's so
Yeah.
weird because like the end of the show is like really the start of it all,
Yeah.
So it's like things are wrapping up, but it also feels like things are just getting started. And
Yeah.
like, oh man. Uh, so yeah, no, great episode, super intense. I thought for a second they were gonna kill off Luthen
Mm.
because when they walk into like that apartment at the end, she's like, "Is he here?" Yeah, he's in the back, and you see like the messed up leg. I was like, "Oh crap, Tony Gilroy, you gunned down Luthen off screen. I wouldn't put it
Yeah.
past you." But no, no, it was cool. It was Woman, and it seems like he's gonna be okay. So that was good. Uh, so much happened in this episode. Like I was really in like what it was like 46 minutes or something like that.
Hmm.
I was really surprised like how much they got done.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, Mon, she said her piece. She spoke out against the Empire and the
Hmm.
Emperor, and now she's on the run. She's gonna go join the rebels,
Hmm.
and it's I like it. I was expecting it was gonna be something more. Like this whole time, I thought something was gonna happen to her family,
Hmm.
and that's what kind of makes her cross that line. But no, I like this. It's like no, it doesn't really have to do anything with her. It,
Hmm.
it's all the Gormans, but she's still fighting for them,
Yeah.
and she's fighting for the galaxy. So yeah, she stepped up,
Hmm.
and I love that line she tells Bale. She's like, "If you're brave enough to stay, I should be brave enough to leave." I was like, "Hell yeah!" So
Yeah.
I like that. Now I'm afraid though we might still see repercussions for Perrin and the daughter.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this idea of Cassian being the messenger? There's something special about him. I
It's it's interesting because Cassian doesn't believe in it. And
Sure.
it's interesting because it's something that he is separate from, And
Yeah.
he doesn't buy into any of that. He doesn't believe in the Force, yeah.
Right.
Um I think it would be different if he was in any way, shape, or form like swayed to believe that he is like a quote unquote chosen one,
Yeah.
you know? Um I thought that but it was interesting because, having so many episodes of the show where it like really grounds the terror and the reality of the Star Wars universe, to show you that like, hey, these are living flesh and blood people. It's like I know that you and I like we're not scared of stormtroopers because we know the memes. Like they can't shoot
Hmm.
right, like their helmets or whatever. But the people don't know that.
Hmm.
It's still, like, hey, there are a number of people who wear uniforms and these guys' uniforms are tactical armor. Like
Hmm.
that's horrifying. You see those guys, you are gonna get scared. Doesn't matter if they can't shoot for shit. That's technically worse. Um, but it's interesting to have like that force healer come in and then start to say like, there is something about Cassian. There is like a presence. On the one hand, I am kind of upset because it kind of does make it seem like this is destiny. This was fated. But that's also like sort of part of the message of Rogue One as well. Like the Force guides people. It guides them to the
Hmm.
places that they need to
Hmm.
be. That's why Donnie Yen is there. He's
Yeah.
not a Jedi, but he's a Force user. And he
Hmm.
sees that interconnected weave of the universe. So yeah, in a way it's like it might not necessarily be destiny, but it is fated that these people change or do something, you
Yeah.
know? And I like it because it still means that Cassian still has a choice, you know? Cassian could have still left or found a way to leave.
Hmm.
But that's why Bix had to do what she had to do. you know?
Yeah, I
Like it
just
like there is a part of me that I'm like that does feel a little convenient though, and honestly, I think we just needed more time. We needed more time with that
yeah.
story for me to actually be comfortable with
I
that being the case.
I don't I think that's my issue. Like I'm not a fan of it, and I think it's because it feels rushed,
Yeah.
you know. And it's fine that Cassian doesn't believe in it, but the fact that Bix does, and now even Luthen is questioning it, he's
Hmm.
like, "Are you just one person?" He's like, "You've been at all these places," and he starts naming off the story arcs of Andor,
Yeah.
and I'm like, hmm. I was like, yeah. I
Hmm.
mean, I think there's a way you can do it. It's just it's really hard to do it in this compressed form, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, like having Luthen like name off all of that stuff, it's like it does bring into context like, oh wow, that's a lot. But it would have hit a lot harder if we had 5 seasons worth of all of that, you know, or something like just to
Yeah, I mean,
like I don't know, like for me, like that very much feels like a series finale sort of like bit of writing of just like, look how far you've come. Look at all the things that you've done and been to, you know?
I get it. Like he's been going on all these missions for years now, but like the ones Luthen mentioned, the ones we see in the show, those are the greatest hits. Those
Yeah.
are the real ones where there was an impact,
Yeah.
where Cassian actually made like this difference, So I get that, but I think it's just the how everyone just jumps in on it. Well, it really Bix, like Bix just dives in, head first. But now we're
Hmm.
seeing Luthen kind of question it too, and I'm like, huh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I think it's something that needed to be tied. Like if I was Tony Gilroy, I probably would have just cut it from the story because
Mm.
it's like it's not necessarily needed. Who knows how it plays into the next 3 episodes, you know?
Yeah.
But like I doubt it's gonna be like Cassian's like, I'm here because the force wants me to be here. That
Yeah,
that seems
no.
so out of it. But just this storyline in general just feels it's not even a storyline. It's just like this little thread. It feels out of place in Andor in the
Yeah.
show. So like it could have been cool. Like I thought the impact of having the force healer there who doesn't even really believe in her own abilities anymore. I think
Hmm.
that was perfect. You never even have to mention it again. Bix, it doesn't have to change Bix's outlook and her decisions. Luthen doesn't have to bring it up. Like that in itself was good. You know, if you're going to continue it, I kind of wish it was more subtle. You
Hmm.
know, and now it feels like it's kind of just straight up calling it out. It's
Yeah.
like you're important. We need you. This is all going to fail without you. And it's
Yeah.
like, well,
It and unfortunately that feels kind of like the traditional Star Wars writing, you
yes, it
know,
does. It
where
does.
like yeah, where it's just like, hey, started off this very innocuous character,
Yeah.
you know, fully like it kind of betrays the idea of that like George Lucas ethos of like everybody on screen is a character and has their own story to tell. And it's like, yes, that's true, but we've made specific allowances because this is the character we're following, and now we're being told that like, oh yeah, we're following him because he's the chosen one. He's a chosen
Right.
one,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay, what about Tubes? What about Saul
Yeah.
Guerrero's guy? How come he can't be the chosen one?
Brazos,
How come Brazos
Sitha,
can't be the
like
chosen one? Yeah.
I think this show like really stood out and it really impacted everyone because uh it was just people. They were just
Mhm.
people. And yeah, I don't know. Also, I'm kind of curious because specifically remember at some point in the production of the show, Tony Gilroy like left. And that's what I thought. I thought he was gone. I thought he only did the first season.
Mm.
But then Andor season 2 premieres, and I remember he's like on all the press tours and stuff. I'm like, okay. And he's still billed like as the showrunner, but he doesn't write any episodes after episode 3, I think.
Mm.
So like I'm really curious if uh he did leave or not because I could have swore that he did. I thought he left. And it's like that might make a little more sense because there's a lot of things kind of happening in this back half that not contradict, but it doesn't feel like it aligns with everything we had before. Kind of
Yeah.
like this chosen one type mentality, you know? I'm like,
Yeah.
so I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I will have to look into that. I'll have to do
Hmm.
some research on that and give you an answer next time.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just read a little bit of trivia. Whether or not it was intended, the scene in which the console tech notices that Mon Mothma's listening device in her office has gone offline very much resembles the scene in Spaceballs, where the radar technician notices that the radar has been jammed.
Like,
Which I don't think so. I don't think that's true.
in what way was it?
I don't know. Like that's all it says. You
Uh,
know, sometimes these IMDb trivias are just hit and miss, and I'm
yeah.
like, that's not like. Is it similar in the fact that like, oh, I've noticed that the listening device is offline? That's
Yeah.
it. Like that's kind of all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man,
you. I'm
that was a
gonna.
scene though where that guy turns out he was working for Luthen. Um, and again, like I just
Mhm.
don't I didn't really care. Like I don't know who this guy is, like I don't care. Like
Yeah, he's just been like he's been her aide for like a couple of episodes, but then we
yeah.
have to remember, oh, this is like in real time. So
Yeah, he
let's
only has like a
or not real
line or
time. So that's
two.
like 2 years. Yeah.
It's kind of like they had to condense this story obviously from 5 seasons to two, but it's like I feel like instead of actually condensing it, they just cut a bunch.
Yeah.
Because like this guy, like I guess he was needed and I do enjoy like his kind of role throughout this episode, but the emotional beats they're trying to hit, like it was a great scene between him and Mon where
Hmm.
they're talking when she realizes. I'm like, okay, that's a great scene, but at the same time, it's like at this point, with only 4 episodes left, like I don't care. You
Yeah.
know? It's like, okay, all right.
It also kind of strikes me as weird because it's like I know that we've all seen we all know Luthen is is an ends justify the means kind of guy. You
Right.
know, totally willing to just let a bunch of people die if it gets him a piece of information, you know?
Right.
Um, but it feels so strange how like from episode to episode, it feels like more and more people are just like nah, can't trust Luthen at all. Can't trust him at all. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, like
I wish we
but
saw
like
why. Like I want to see
yeah,
their perspective,
yeah.
you know?
Because it's like it doesn't sound like there was an incident or anything like that. It just sounds like everybody's getting tired of following Luthen's way and of see and I guess in a way like that does kind of show that like Luthen's way isn't the only way. The not to say anything about like it's the correct way or the
Right.
moral way or anything like that. It's just that
Right.
like it's not the only way. And I think it more and more we're seeing like okay, yeah, people are leaning towards the rebellion because it's all organized. You
Yeah.
know, they're actually trying to organize and do this is why organization is important. Um, but yeah, it's just that like it like I don't know, like it again, it just boils down to they had story that they had to cut down into 2 seasons. And it's just like you said, they had to like cut around stuff and then just put it in the show instead of like I don't like it doesn't feel as nuanced. It just feels like
Yeah,
some of these
like
character turns or decisions are coming just out of nowhere.
yeah, I wish that like okay, Sarge. So they cut Sarge out of season two.
Hmm.
I get it, that would have been extra, but I feel like a lot of the stuff we're getting right now is extra. Like we don't need this. Like
Yeah.
you could cut the AIDS story and focus on something else.
Hmm.
Like I don't know. It's just it's so
It's also interesting how like they keep it like it feels like they sort of keep flirting with the idea of actually showing an imperial officer, imperial spy, or somebody working with the empire turning, because we've gotten like we were sort of getting that with Cyril. And of course we've already established that, like, yeah, Cyril probably wasn't going to go down that way,
Yeah.
because that's just his character. They kind of planted those seeds for Dedra. And of course, now that we've, like, post show talked about how potentially she could come back, all that stuff. Like, that's there.
Spoilers.
I just said potentially. I'm just saying. And you commented on it a couple episodes ago anyway. So,
I've been spoiler free this whole time.
uh-huh, sure.
Hmm.
Rewriting history. How convenient for
I
you.
edit these
Is your
episodes,
name
and
Emperor Palpatine?
I never mention names.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
shows what I know. Uh, but anyway, it was just interesting because we saw we saw Mon's driver, who we
Hmm.
know is an ISB plant.
Hmm.
And throughout this episode, he got a little mini arc where at the end, I don't actually know if he was still ISB. Did you pick up on that?
I mean, he
Because,
had
like,
that
he's,
one moment where he's listening to the speech and he seems inspired.
yeah,
I mean, he could have actually been looking to help her, but
yeah.
too late, bro. He's
I
kind
mean,
of like
I'm
he's
well,
kind of like
yeah,
the dude back in Ferrex who turned in Cassian, and then he was trying to get off the planet, and then he looked like he was moved by
by Marva's
Marva's
speech.
speech, but nope, dead. I was like, yeah, man, you missed your shot. Same thing with Cyril. He starts to
Yeah,
wake up dead. It's like, no, you make your choice, you make your bed, and then you lay in it. You know,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you make the
No,
cake and then you eat it.
whoa.
I don't know. So
No, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
No, I get that, but
I
but it just
yeah.
kind of like feels to me that, like, if that was going to be Sarge's story anyway, how come we couldn't have tried to fit that into the season? You know?
Yeah, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Especially
Like,
because, like, Sarge was never actually Imperial. He's just was a
yeah,
security guy, you
I'm
know?
wondering how they would have done it because they mentioned that Tony Gilroy mentioned that he would have, or Alex Fern, the actor, mentioned that Sarge would have worked with Luthen at some point.
Hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. Um, I like the thing with the driver though because he's been a constant presence through the series. So
Hmm.
I'm like, okay, boom, dead, just ruthless. I loved it.
Yeah.
Just desserts.
Yeah. No,
And
true. True.
but like okay, so like I really like Lonnie. But if I knew this episode was coming up, I would have replaced Lonnie at the party with this aide because it actually makes sense that Mon Mothma's aide would be there. So it'd be
Mm,
this aide, this guy, and Clea trying to do the heist, trying to get the mic out. You know, just
yeah.
give me something so I actually care when it's revealed that he's working for Luthen.
Yeah,
You know,
that's true, but it takes away from Lonnie. And I like that Lonnie's there,
yeah, sure,
you know?
sure, but like
But
we
but
also don't
I
know what Lonnie's story is in these last three episodes.
yeah.
You know, so like that could have been like I did like that, but
Hmm.
like if that's the last time we see Lonnie, okay, it's not really important. That could have been
Well,
anyone.
well, I don't know if it is, because if you caught it, the guy who's in, like, the I don't know, communications control room,
Right.
he was talking about the ISB plant that was on Bail Organa's team,
Yeah.
the that woman, and he like twice, I think twice, he mentioned Young's agent,
Yeah.
and that's Lonnie. So apparently,
No, Young's agent was the girl.
yes, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, Lonnie is Young?
Yeah, Lonnie Young,
Oh,
that's his
oh,
name.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, they've said
Interesting.
it like once or twice, like somewhere within the show. But
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, oh, okay. So it's like, I think.
Hmm.
Lonnie was told by the Empire, told by ISB, hey, we need somebody on Bale's team.
Yeah.
Put that person on Bale's team,
Yeah.
so it's like, and yeah, so we already knew that, like, okay, yeah, Bale's team was corrupted. That's what
Yeah.
Luthen came in to tell Mon. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, it's like, I don't know, like
Yeah.
Lonnie might
I
not show up in like these next couple
I'm sure
episodes,
he'll be there,
but yeah,
But I'm just saying, like, I liked it being him at the party because it gives the further it's suspenseful because both him and Clea have a lot to lose if they get caught,
yeah,
But I'm just saying, like, it
they're
could have been
they're
the other guy, and you could have worked it around. It wouldn't have been as suspenseful, because
yeah,
we're not worried about him the way we are with Lonnie. But still, like that's one of those roles. Like you could have easily made that shift,
yeah.
make us care about this other guy. So, or you just kind of cut that storyline altogether.
Just
You
make it
know,
Sarge. I don't care
Sarge.
how.
I'm
Just make
yeah.
it Sarge.
I'm like I don't understand like why this betrayal to Mon was so important to build up.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we could have spent that time with someone else. The fact that Cassian even says, "I'm friends with your cousin Vale." She's like, anyone can say that. Yeah, I don't think he's talked to Vale since season one, since Aldani. We've never seen them on screen together.
Oh, that's true.
And it's just like, so it's little things like that, which again, obviously we gotta give them some credit because they had to cut down their story from 5 seasons to two. But
Hmm.
I think they should have done more cutting instead of condensing, you know. And Sarge, he never stood a chance of coming back. I get that.
Yeah,
But it's
I
like
get
this
it.
aide guy, like, I don't know. And he made it. He survived. So like I still really don't know his purpose in this story. Cassian could have taken care of it himself,
Yeah.
you know. So I don't know.
Mm.
I guess it's further to deepen the divide between Mon and Luthen, but I mean, Luthen's not doing anything out of character that he hasn't since we first met him.
Yeah.
So it's
Well, and
just
also there's like there technically isn't even a a divide anymore because it's like, oh, Luthen was right. I'm with his guy and all
yeah,
of his people,
yeah,
and I'm trusting them to get me to Squadron,
yeah,
to go make my speech across the stars. It's like,
yeah.
okay.
Now I don't know what goes on from this point because I know Mon Mothma shows up in the Bad Batch or in Clone Wars.
Rebels.
Rebels, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and something goes down and they have to pull her out. And that kind of leads to her being in the movies.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so her story's not done yet. Uh and now I'm kind of curious too. We got 3 episodes left. Are we gonna do another time jump? Because I think we're
Mm.
still 2 years away from Rogue One.
Yeah, I think so.
So I think we're gonna get another year time jump in, and Mon will be full on like leading this thing at this point,
Yeah.
which is very interesting because at this point she's very much still like I don't know if she has what it takes to lead.
Yeah.
It's cool that like to see that like she's actually afraid and she's scared, but like she is very paranoid now, and it's just like okay, it's let's see what happens now. You know,
Mhm.
how do we get you to lead? I I wish they would do like a director's cut of Rogue One where they just film a bunch of new stuff and like add it into Rogue One, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, Tony Gilroy's talked about like again, we'll talk about it once we finish the show, but he's mentioned things he wishes he had in Rogue One after doing the show. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but what's his name? K2SO? Is that his
Hmm.
name?
Yeah.
Yep, he's awake now. I'm like, okay,
Hmm.
that's cool.
Hmm.
That's all I gotta say about that. Cool. I look forward to seeing him.
Yeah. It was interesting that that's where we chose to end the episode.
Yeah, it was. I guess it was kind of a more hopeful ending.
it's a more hopeful ending. It's adding another connection to Rogue One. It's
Yeah.
kind of it's the frustrating thing about this season specifically, where it's like, hey, this is Cassian Andor's show, and he still feels like he's on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like this episode, yeah, he got a lot to say about like he wants to leave, he needs to start making his own decisions.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's like I don't know, like it like it still feels so weird that like this is our guy, the guy that we chose to like take from the movie, give his own show, and then in the second season of that show, we're like, he's not as interesting as apparently everybody else around him.
It's just like Smallville,
It's just like
where
Smallville.
you have Clark Kent go through high school, then
Uh-huh.
he goes through college, and he starts working at the Daily Planet and starts dating
Mm-hmm.
Lois, and he
Mm-hmm.
still doesn't become Superman. It's like, okay, guys, how long are we going to push this off? You
Yeah.
know, kind of like that. I think it would have flowed better had it been 5 seasons. But yeah, yeah, I don't know. And
Yeah.
like this, like he clearly is like the main one in the story. Like he's going through, he has to extract Mon, but again, he's kind of just like this guy on the side, who's
Mm-hmm.
helping. And like his main story is he might be a chosen one of some sort. And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, at least now.
It's like,
Yeah.
well, all right. Got what we
Also,
wish for.
also, I'm sorry, but Clea coming in and calling out Cassian and being just like, "Oh, so this is it? You're out now because it's hard." I'm like, "Look, lady, you were not on Gorman. You didn't see any of that. You didn't experience any of that. So like,
Yeah.
don't come at me. You're over here making my little fake press
Yeah.
pass so that I can also go in and do another dangerous mission that neither you or Luthen is gonna do." So I'd be like, "No, stop." Like it's the thing about these shows. I mean, this is going back to us talking about Lost, where it's like
Hmm.
people don't talk, but people like because it's this thing. Communication is key. Real life communication, I feel like, is not can sometimes not be as interesting as obviously fictionalized, dramatized
Sure.
conversations like this. But I feel like this was a moment where I, as a character, would be like, actually, no, you don't get to tell me that. You don't get to tell me when I walk away, you know?
Mm.
Because it's like, and I see you shaking your head
Yeah.
because, whatever. But it's like, no, man, like, I get it. We're all in the shit. We've all seen different shit, you
Yeah.
know? But if there's somebody who's telling you that, like, hey, me, the significant member of this spy organization, this resistance, whatever you want to call it, me, the significant member is telling you, I've had it. My next move as a person who's listening to that person is not to just neg him into staying. Because that's kind of what that felt like to me, you know?
Sure. I see what you're saying,
Yeah.
but I'm on the opposite perspective. I'm like, no, man. I'm like, if you walk away, everything you did was for nothing. That's the truth. I probably wouldn't nag Cassian, but I would be honest. I'm like, if you leave now, everything you have lost was for nothing.
Then I feel like that's the route that conversation should have taken.
Sure,
Because
but that's
that's
not
not
Clea,
because that well,
you
okay,
know?
yeah,
She's
fine.
she's
Yeah.
the she's the man in the van, but like she's like controlling, like I don't know, man. That's what I like about that character, you know.
She's like the Oracle who is like sitting here, or like the like in a way, kind of like the M who is
Kind
like,
of, yeah,
like yeah, like I'm here, like I'm in the situation room. I
yeah,
have to listen to you all die, or I have
yeah,
to hope that you guys don't die.
yeah,
Yeah. So it's like,
yeah.
yeah, I get it.
I mean,
I get
yeah, I
it.
get it too. But I mean, it's just like it's war, man. Like if Cassian goes down, maybe they torture him and then they kill him. You know,
Yeah.
if Clea goes down, they're not killing her anytime soon. You know, Like it's kind of like what Mon was saying in season one to Luthen, like if we go down, no one goes down harder than I do. And
Hmm.
she has nothing to do with the rebels. She's just funding them, you know?
Hmm.
And it's so
Hey,
it's
that's huge though.
yeah, that's the point.
Yeah.
She's probably done the least. She just gives money, but
Mm.
she's gonna go down the hardest.
Yeah.
She's gonna get tortured to death. That's the point. Like, so it's I see what you're saying about Cassian. Like, yeah, he's actually suffering in the thing, but like no one here is getting out of this, you know, unscathed if we go down. Like, I don't know. And I mean, to the opposite end, Bix says the exact same thing, but she says it more out of a place of love, you
Yeah.
know? And and then even when he was telling, Wilman, he's like, "Do you want to fight or do you want to win?" That's the whole thing. Like, what's the line? They even said it in the recap that Bix says, like, if I'm going to sacrifice everything, I want to be sure that we win.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, like
Yeah.
I definitely see where Cassian's coming from. Um, especially because he's our lead, so we follow him the most.
Mhm.
But it's like, I don't know. Clea was absolutely right. She could have been a little nicer about it. But
Yeah.
yeah,
And that's not me saying that I think Clea needed to be nicer about it, but it's like
yeah,
my like Clea is Clea. That's
yeah,
a very clear response.
yeah.
I think it's just that like it's it's hard for me to like really know where a character's headspace is at,
Hmm.
and Cassian saying that he's out. It's like, well, okay, expand on that. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, you saw Gorman. We saw
yeah,
you in the last episode. You saw Gorman. You were there. And now you're being asked to do another dangerous thing. Like,
yeah.
keep going. Keep going. Tell me something.
Yeah,
Give me a little bit more.
yeah.
That's
And
kind
I
of my
and
thing.
I kind of want to see like from Clea, since they went this route, it would have been interesting if she would have like expanded her thinking a little bit, because the fact that she's like, this is what breaks you, it's like, what do you mean this? Please go into detail.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, seeing all these people massacred is what pushes you over the line, but killing that person who saw y'all and had nothing to do, that kid, that wasn't enough to cross the line. But this is, I wish there was something more kind of prodding, you
Yeah.
know, so you could make it in a way where like it wasn't just this event that pushed him over, it
Yeah.
was all of it. Or, you could just go, this was it, but Cassie was already at this point, like I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
it's I feel like they didn't change enough from the 5 story arc to make it fit. I
Yeah.
think that's what this whole episode, not this episode of Andor, but this episode of Lost Legacies, I think that's what we're kind of trying to sum up. They didn't change enough of
Yeah.
the 5 year story to fit into 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Um, and I kind of what I doubt they didn't have the whole thing written, but I'm pretty sure they had like a outline at least or something,
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
because it's just kind of like certain things, certain characterizations. It just feels like if you knew you were only getting 2 seasons, even after you start, because, well, like, I don't know the timeline. Like, I don't know when productions started.
Hmm.
Did they already have all 12 episodes written and locked by the time they
Mm.
started filming
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
not? So that's something we don't know. But it's like, I don't know. I would have changed stuff. Like,
Yeah. Me too. I definitely would have cut, the episode and a half where Cassian spent on that jungle spent on
yeah.
Yavin. We find out that's Yavin at the beginning of the season.
Hmm.
I'd have just cut that and I would have just immediately cut to him. Hey, he's in a experimental TIE fighter trapped in space. Cool. Now let's let him figure it
And
out.
what happens to the TIE fighter?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Does that come up in some other Star Wars thing, or like it just?
I
it
don't
kind of
know.
furthers the point. Like Cassian did nothing for 2 episodes.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, especially like you're flying off at the end of that third episode. I'm like, this could be like a hero ship. I hope this like
yeah,
becomes a ship at some point, you know? Like
yeah.
even if it doesn't stay with Cassian, this is just like
Well, to that point,
something.
I'm kind of interested because to know your thoughts because we kind of talked about it last week, but like, where do we think this show's gonna end? Like how do we think
I think I kind of already know.
like is there gonna be a big battle of some sort? Is that fighter gonna come
Oh,
in
yeah,
some
yeah.
way? Like, is
Yeah,
Cassian gonna go undercover in this thing? Like, I don't know.
yeah, because like I've thought about it and I really don't know anything about like these final three episodes. Um,
So Rogue One,
mhm.
that wasn't the first time the rebels like the rebel alliance like fights, right? That's not like the introduction of them.
No,
Okay,
no.
so we're probably going towards the series finale of Andor is probably going to be like the first major battle between the rebellion and the empire
Potentially, yeah.
because they've been building, especially these last couple episodes, they've been slowly building up the idea of like, hey, they're finally organized on Yavin, you know?
Yeah. Which
So
which again, I know we keep harping on it, but it's like I would have really liked to have seen that formation,
yeah,
you
thanks
know,
Disney.
which like well like and I don't know, like I don't know if like that's even tied to Cassian's storyline, you know, like would they even would that
Yeah,
have even been part of it, you know, if he's kind of just a smuggler and gun runner, you know, until he becomes like a part of the ranks. But if we're gonna bother like like hey all of a sudden the rebels are now here, it's like oh like
yeah,
from episode to episode is like they became an organized front. I'm like okay, what about
yeah.
Saw, like did Saw have anything to say about that,
Right.
you
What's
know,
yeah,
like
what's Luthen's part in all this? Because it seems like everyone's
I don't think
kind of
Luthen's
just stepping away from him and focusing on the rebellion now.
yeah
So
because I feel like I feel Luthen's doing that thing where it's like I'm playing everything so close to the chest,
yeah,
you know, because I know how quickly this can crumble. I know how quickly personalities can turn on each other. It's like I'm playing it so close to the chest, but because of that, I'm not allowing anybody else to like either have a say or
hmm,
just like it's Luthen's way or you
yeah,
don't do it and you know whatever. Um
yeah,
Yeah, so it's like
yeah,
and it was kind of the whole thing where like that's why Luthen didn't really answer Saw in the first season.
hmm,
You know, where it's like what do you believe in? Like I've never known. And he kind of doesn't really give him an answer. You know,
yeah.
he just says that like I know that if we don't stop bickering, you know, like they're just gonna steamroll us. And
If we don't live together, we're gonna die
we're gonna die
alone.
alone. Exactly. Jack Shepherd all the way.
R.I.P.
Um
Jack Shepard.
RIP. You've yet to live yet, Jack.
Ah, yeah,
um, yeah, because this is a long time ago. Galaxy far, far
yeah,
away.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool.
totally.
Uh, um, but yeah, it just kind of feels like Luthen, even though he knows that everybody needs to get organized, also sees that he doesn't fit into that equation.
Yeah,
You know?
he's a spy,
Yeah, he's a
and
spy,
and
and what they need are soldiers.
what they need is an army. So yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No, I
Wow.
get it.
Well, I can't wait. Only 3 episodes left. We'll
Hmm.
see what happens, man. Um,
We'll see what happens.
Bix is gonna have to come back in some form, some way, or
Comes down.
they bring the news that she was killed in a rebel attack. I'm like,
Oh gosh, I hope not.
I know.
No, she comes down. It's just like Avengers Endgame. She comes out of the clouds and she the loading ramp aboard the Ebon Hawk is fully down and she's there with the biggest blaster you've ever
Hmm.
seen. It just starts laying down cover fire. Do 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 do, and then somewhere in the crossfire she gets hit, but only enough to where she can die in Cass's arms.
Yeah, yeah,
And then, yeah, and then that
yeah,
leads into Rogue One. Yeah.
yeah.
Also, real quick, just want to shout out because we talked about her, but kind of glossed over it. I think Genevieve O'Reilly, who plays Mon, I think she killed it this episode.
Yeah, it was
You
good.
know, just so much of her just like expressing and like, oh God, like I'm in this now, I'm in the fight, but
Hmm.
also too like seeing her struggle with literally doing her job. Like not that she ever was not going to do her job, but
Yeah,
like seeing her struggle with the fact that like it's come to this. It's come to me literally just having to make a speech, which is my whole job.
yeah,
And knowing that this is going to set the course of the rest of my life. Like yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
Was Mon in the new trilogy?
No,
No. Wonder if she's gone already.
potentially it's 30 years after uh Battle of Endor. And like there's still a lot of characters around, Akbar's still
I think
around,
she's
Wedge is
just
still around.
retired.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Also, like I don't see how you can like come back politically from, you know, even like
I don't
I
know.
mean, I don't know. Like who's
Someone's
to
got to run
say?
things. Yeah.
Somebody's got to run things, but maybe it's more of like she's got like bail seat, she's just kind of
Right.
like, chairman of something, not necessarily like
Yeah.
senator
Yeah, I
anymore.
wonder if we're gonna see Belle again. Um,
Oh, also, I think Benjamin Bratt killed it. Like,
yeah, good
like,
job,
yeah, great role.
Yeah. I don't know. Guess we'll find out next week.
Yeah, we'll find out next week when we talk about Andor season 2, episode 10. Make it stop. Yeah, I don't know how to describe any of this.
Perfect.
Yeah. Well, listeners, thanks for tuning in once again. Always happy to have you here. You know, hope you're here loving our talks. Um, as always, you can find us hashtag Lost Legacies.
Yep.
Let us know if you can remember the AI thread that Matt and I were trying to get at.
Yeah, I don't
And if you
remember.
find out, let us know. Hashtag Lost Legacies. We'll find it.
Yep. And join us on Thursday because we're going to be talking about Halloween movie of the week, Ready or Not,
Oh,
starring
I
Samara
love this
Weaving,
movie.
directed by Radio Silence.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love this movie.
Yeah, it
Hell
looks
yeah.
fun. So I
I'm
haven't seen
excited.
it. I hope I like it. I think I will. So look
I
forward.
think
So
you will.
join us on Thursday for that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Until
it's-
next time, I'm on the socials. Go find me. Whatever. Hashtag Lost Legacies.
Yeah, then find me too. Instagram and threads. Yeah. Alrighty, everyone. Till next time. Fight
Fight
the
the
Empire.
Empire.